We're here at Links Golf Course in FSJ, and seeing how they close up the course for the season October 8th, this is probably one of my last rounds of the year. But anyway, in this week's Go Peace Country, we stopped by the Northern Lights Raceway Association to profile the local drag racing community. Also, in our Parenting 101 segment, we take a look at a unique program designed to bring out that true artist in your child. And later on, in our Who's Who segment, we profile a man who was once known across Canada as the Romanian Cowboy. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard of the term horse whisperer. If not, well, it's basically a horse trainer who can mentally and spiritually connect with his horse. And in this week's opening segment, we explore a man who takes that philosophy to a whole different level.
Extreme horsemanship is one of the fastest growing equine sport in North America. And extreme it was indeed when Glenn Stewart recently led his horse down the aisle at the Lido Theatre in downtown Fort St. John.
First time, brought my stallion Jet into here, and first time for him, first time for me, first time for the Lido. And he come in and acted like he'd been in here a million times.
Glenn lives on a ranch in the Peace River area, but travels extensively conducting clinics and demonstrations on natural horsemanship as far afield as Brazil. Natural horsemanship is a philosophy of working with horses based on a horse's natural instincts and methods of communication.
You create a connection with the horse, and I was around horses all my life and did lots of things with horses, and the connection, if I had one, was pretty weak because I just didn't realize that you could have such a connection with a horse.
Jet demonstrated that connection prior to the Lido screening of Glenn's third place finish in the World Championship of Colt Starting.
And so as time goes on, I'm seeing a deeper and deeper level that you can get such a connection with a horse. It's really unbelievable.
The Horse Ranch hosts the annual Extreme Horsemanship Canada competition. Glenn has noticed an increase in the skills and the abilities of the riders and the horses taking part. Lawrence Lemoyne from Eaglesham, Alberta, was one of those riders.
We came up for the competition. I started a new Colt Arrow here this spring, and I just taking a competition like this is really good to show you where you need to, things you need to work on.
Probably most amount of time that I spend is actually teaching the people, because if they understand, then they can go with any horse. The better the person understands, they can just take any horse anytime, anywhere, and the more you know, the easier any horse is to deal with.
Basically, I want to learn more about horses. What I really like is the psychology part of it, how you can communicate with horses without speaking. They're very sensitive. They respond very well if you ask right.
It's mostly body language. It's your hands and how you walk and how you turn and you stand up tall or shrink a little bit. It's how you move. It's all about that, much more so. You can teach a horse to understand English, but that's not how horses operate. Horses operate by body language out in the field.
The natural horsemanship method of training uses these common sense techniques to improve the human and horse relationship without compromising the technical performance.
There's a lot of horses getting moved around by other horses, and they do that with a look, with a tail swish, with a mean-looking face, a bite, a kick. They use their bodies to move the other horses around. So if we're going to try to be like horses, we should spend less time teaching them English and just do what they do and use our bodies.
I really enjoy being with Glenn. He's clear about everything that he teaches. There's no gray areas. It's black and white, and I learn very well that way from him.
Utilizing understanding and philosophy rather than force, fear, and intimidation obviously works. For Go Peace Country, I'm Diane Townsend.
They say the average golfer's swing speed is around 90 miles per hour. That's pretty fast, but not nearly as fast as what you're about to see in this next segment.
Just drag racing. Once you do it once, it's addicting.
For over 25 years, Northern BC's adrenaline junkies have been flocking to this not-so-quiet corner of the world.
Everybody can't help but pick up on the excitement of it.
Sisters Kaylee and Madison can't agree more.
You get to go fast. It's challenging.
Fort St. John's Northern Lights Raceway Association has 5 classes of race groups, determined by vehicle and skill level. And this past summer, interest in the sport is doing anything but slowing down.
It's growing and growing and growing. And it starts with the juniors. We have 18 junior dragsters here today. So if 18 of those kids move on from every track around, it's big.
Now Paul here is the owner of this 1999 dragster that can reach quarter-mile speeds of 170 miles per hour, which means, Paul, you must have the need for speed. And it's not only the dragsters that can fly. Speed demons come in all shapes and sizes, like Brian Anderlini's pride and joy, Insanity.
The record's 120 miles an hour. Best I've been is 102 miles an hour. You know, we keep fighting with bugs and that, but I'm chasing the record. And it's just something that you don't see every day and you can't do every day. You know, it's totally off the wall, so.
Yes, it seems drag racing really is for everyone, but it can't be an activity that couples do, could it?
Yeah, it's just something we kind of started a couple of years ago, and my wife Sherry decided she'd like to get into it also. So this is our first year for both of us racing. So I built a second sled, and now we're both doing it. It's a great time for the family, good sport.
The Northern Lights Raceway is also more than just a racetrack. It's a weekend campground for racers, which is creating a unique sense of community.
Everybody seems to help everybody. If you have a problem with a car out here, somebody will be there that has another car that they'll come over and help you. They'll loan you parts, whatever it takes, help you wrench on it, you know. It's an awesome, awesome place to be.
I recommend it. It's just so much fun. Like a lot of fun.
The Northern Lights Raceway has wrapped up for the season, but the dragsters and other rubber burners will be back in May 2013, equipped with a renovated track aimed to make them go that much faster. For Go Peace Country, I'm Kevin Chirac. Later on in our Who's Who segment, we meet a Romanian man who moved to the Peace, worked his way up, and even sang on a national stage. It's all coming up on Go Peace Country. You know, there's the old adage that golf is as much an art as it is a sport. And speaking of the arts, in this week's Parenting 101, we explore a program that helps kids channel their inner artiste.
We're here at Fort St. John's first and only fine arts preschool, where cooking, crafts, and even sign language are just some of the life skills they learn before the age of 5.
Just over a year ago, Susan McGarvey and the Cultural Center saw the opportunity for a unique type of early learning that evidently goes a long way.
I saw the need for another preschool. The Cultural Center saw the need for educating children, and we just put those ideas together. The arts to children are as important at getting their mind going as sports are to getting their bodies going. So it's vitally important that the kids get immersed.
With the many different options in the North for childcare, it's no surprise why their parents chose Fine Arts Preschool.
I think just the exposure to the different aspects, like last week they were dancing around on the stage in the theater, you know, it's things that you wouldn't maybe get in a normal preschool.
It's really good. They do a lot of like sign language and Spanish and percussion and dance and stuff like that, and theater, so he's learned quite a bit.
I think it's great. It's only our second week, but we're enjoying it so far. She is anyways.
Studies across North America have shown that exposing your child to the arts at a young age is a stepping stone to creating little Einsteins.
Studies are showing that Kids who participate in the arts when they're young and as they go through school are doing better on their standardized testing. They are actually progressing and going to college, where a lot of kids will drop out at high school levels. And those kids are getting better jobs because they can think outside the box. So they're also, like, the little statistics are more kids that participate in the arts become class president in high school, participate in student council. Arts help you become creative and thinking in unconventional ways.
While these little tots are exercising their creative minds, they are still learning the essential skills to guide them into kindergarten.
Well, I don't know about them, but I'm pretty ready for my nap time. Thanks for joining us today. For Go Peace Country, I'm Kyla Corpus.
Golf is a game that requires practice and patience, a similar framework used by the man featured in this week's Who's Who.
I don't like to talk bad about my previous country, but there I lost actually my hope.
Romanian-born Fort St. John resident Sebastian David has a stable job working in land surveying for Focus Corporation.
I work for one of the best employers in Canada, Focus Corporation. Time flies just like this when you work, and yes, I really enjoy it.
But to get to this point in his life, Sebastian had to pay his dues. Despite earning a master's degree in his native Romania, the job security just wasn't there.
I was struggling for 3 years to get a decent job, and I was working for very small businesses paid under the table with no contract. So no medical insurance, no life insurance, no short-term, long-term disability, so it was pretty tough life.
So with the advice of his parents, who had already immigrated to northern BC, Sebastian decided to pack his bags and move to the Peace. But though well-educated and skilled, finding work wouldn't be easy.
I was just barely saying, hi, hello, how are you? My name is Sebastian David, that's it.
With his English at a minimum, Sebastian obtained his first job at Fort St. John's Walmart. Months later, he would work as a janitor at Dr. Kearney. His English would quickly improve though, studying hours a day at the North Peace Cultural Center.
In probably 6 months, 1 year, I was able to talk on my own and to communicate with people, build up my resumes and sell myself.
And in just a few years, Sebastian's hard work paid off.
You feel smart and confident, and if you know to do anything, come to Fort St. John.
Outside of work, Sebastian can be found enjoying the beautiful northern BC landscape, or maybe performing his #1 passion, music.
I like singing sometimes, not professionally, but I like to sing just for fun.
An adapter to his environment, Sebastian quickly absorbed the country culture of the Peace region.
I got a cowboy hat for myself, a leather jacket, some jeans, shirts like this, right?
And combined with his natural music ability, Sebastian, aka the Romanian cowboy, even got his own 15 minutes of fame.
I started browsing and browsing and browsing and looking for the song titles, and I said, oh, I know that song, Alan Jackson song, everybody knows that song, and I started playing it, and I said, what about if I go there? And I went to Regina, and bang, you know, after pre-selection, I was in top 10. I think overall was a great experience.
But reaching national fame didn't compare to the day he married the Ukrainian-born Ina. They met while Sebastian was traveling Europe, but the lengthy immigration process has kept them apart.
For 2.5 years, we were Skyping every single day, every morning and every evening. It is really painful because try to imagine to have a 26-year-old wife, beautiful, watching you from the screen, and you watch her on the screen and you just talk to her with being impossible to kiss her, to touch her, to walk with her and to get awake in the morning beside her. It's really painful.
But it appears Ina's immigration status has been approved, and it should be only a short time until they finally reunite.
I think our patience is going to be really paid off.
A man who came here with nothing, seized an opportunity, now has a life and a future in the Peace. For Go Peace Country's Who's Who, I'm Kevin Chirac. Thanks for watching Go Peace Country. And remember, Lynx closes up shop October 8th, so be sure to get your last few rounds in. And if you have any story ideas or an event you'd like us to cover, give us a call or send us an email, Facebook, tweet, whatever. For Go Peace Country, I'm Kevin Chirac.